Hello everyone, you're watching Campus Channel and we are here with the Rennes School of Business and we're going to talk about their MSc in International Luxury and Brand Management. We have the program manager, Dildar Hussain, and we also have a student, Malvika Bia, here to take your questions. But first, we're going to start with the pitch. All right, you know the drill. You have 60 seconds flat. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go.
So, ESC Rennes is now Rennes School of Business. Okay, and Rennes School of Business is one of the most internationalized business schools in France. The program on international luxury and brand management we have is unique because it has a focus on luxury and brand management for all types of companies. So probably we will discuss other points, the strengths of the program later. So a few words from Malvika.
I think this program is definitely one of an international programs, like he said, with faculty and students from all over the world. And apart from that, it's for people who actually have an inclination towards the luxury industry as a whole. Like, you know, you take every aspect into consideration. And yeah, I think it's a really fun course if you're into that.
All right, anything else to add?
So the strengths, just a few words. It's truly international program with more than 15 nationalities in the program and students from diverse backgrounds.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the face-to-face. Please remember to keep sending us your questions. They're going to show up right there. So let's take the first one. And Dildar, will you read this for us, please?
Yes. Why study luxury management at Rennes School of Business? Rennes doesn't really seem like a luxury hub to me. In fact, I would say being in Rennes is a strength for Rennes School of Business. There are many students who really want to experience the French way of life, which is not really, I would say, impossible, but a bit difficult in Paris. If you really want to live in a human size of city, I would say Rennes is the best place. And it's not very far from Paris. It's 1 hour 25 minutes by train. So it's close, connected, and still you can enjoy a peaceful, calm life there.
Okay, so what do you think, Malvika? Rennes, luxury hub? No?
I mean, they have a few luxury brands. They have a luxury hotel where we went for a store check as well. So it's not that they don't have luxury elements in the city. And even I think that it's better to live in Rennes and study because your life is much different. You're not always running around, and you get time for yourself and to do other stuff and to even travel. Because it's a small city, you can really explore it, and you can explore other cities around it as well. So I think it's a good option.
So Dildar mentioned being able to get a French experience. Do you feel like you've gotten an authentic French experience in Rennes? Yeah,
I would say so. Seeing as I also live with a French family, definitely.
All right. Okay, let's take the next question. Malvika, will you read this?
Hi, is this program in English? So to answer the question, yes, the program is fully in English. Everybody teaches you in English, your exams are in English, the study materials in English, so yeah.
And so what about learning French? Do you need French at all living in Rennes or at the school?
I think it's more about, like, if you're living in France, you need to know French because you're going to travel within the country, and you know it's very handy, of course, because people everywhere don't speak English. So knowing French is a plus, and the school actually takes that into account, and we have classes in the school as well to teach you French.
Are these classes required to graduate? Are students required to validate these courses?
These classes have credits, but you do not need French for your education in the school. All the communication, all the teaching is in English. But to support students with learning French, they have lessons every week, and these are counted towards their graduation. So there's a requirement, it's obligatory.
So Malvika, do you feel like you're learning French? Are the classes enough? Are you improving?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely improving, and I think the classes are actually really fun because the way the teacher teaches us, it's not like, you know, you're studying it or you're giving an exam or you have that high pressure on you. You just know that you're doing it because you need to, and living in the country, you use it every day, and that's why you pick it up much sooner, I think.
All right, looks like we have a question for you, Malvika. Yeah. You'll read this.
Hello, I would like to know why the student chose this program and what they plan to do after they finish. So, well, I've picked this program specifically because, like I said, I had an inclination towards the luxury industry. For the longest time, I was working in the media industry, and I was also blogging because I've always liked writing, picture compositions, stuff like that. So I was working with a lot of luxury brands, and eventually I decided that, luxury is the industry that I want to be in. I've always been very inspired by the industry as a whole, the brands that exist, not necessarily just the fashion brands, because there are like automobile brands, there are hotels, and just the way the luxury industry functions, it's very interesting to me. So that's to answer why I chose this program. And what I plan to do after I finish, think I want to do something related to marketing or digital marketing, social media management, somewhere where I can use the skills that I have developed over time. And I would want to do this with a luxury brand, obviously. So that is why this is like my answer to the whole question.
All right, let's take the next question here, Dildar.
E-commerce is quite basic, so how is it in a taught angle to the luxury industry? In fact, for luxury industries, it's a bit complicated because they want to stay connected to their roots, and at the same time, they have to adopt the latest technologies. So I think we have incorporated all these in our programs. We have made major updates to the programs last year to include the latest digital technologies for marketing, for focus of luxury, for product development and all that.
Such as what?
And to teach them, for example, how the companies use Google marketing tools and all other, technologies, social media marketing, and how luxury companies, in fact, used online platforms to deliver experience to the customers.
So what are some of those digital tools that students are learning to master?
In fact, for luxury industries, it's a bit different as compared to, for example, consumer goods. Most of the times they use it for delivering experience to the customers, digital technology, in-store digital technologies to enhance the experience of the customers and to communicate with the customers through digital tools, particularly social media. So the students are taught about all these, I would say, mechanisms and how the luxury industries adopt the latest tools.
So Malika, what does that include, learning to communicate with consumers through these digital tools? Is that learning to write for social media or how to post pictures? What does this mean?
In terms of the question, when we are learning about these digital tools, we are learning how the luxury industry is different and how they don't want to just use digital just for the heck of it or just to be on an online platform, how they integrate the user experience into these digital platforms, how they bring out the brand story and how they communicate. It's way different than a brand that's just an e-commerce brand, I think. It's a complete experience where, the user gets to know more about the brand. Like, for example, we didn't necessarily learn, but we spoke about this in class, like how Chanel has the Inside Chanel, where it's telling you the story of the brand, and it's attracting more consumers, and also it's still refueling the story of the brand, which reminds you why the brand is who it is today. So I think digital is very important and very different with the luxury industry.
All right, let's take the next question. It looks like it is for you, Dildar.
Hello, Mr. Hussain. Can you tell me about your background in luxury management and your relationships in the industry, please? Thank you. My background is in brand management, so which deals with not only luxury brands but all types of brands, and that's what makes this program unique. It's not only focused on luxury industry but brand management, which is applicable to all types of industries, all types of businesses, and my background is in branding. So I have experience of working with several brands. For example, I have been working with Fila. I have been working with some other brands, and this program is unique in terms of the career opportunities which the students can take up after their studies, not only in luxury but in branding, any type of company. I have examples of several students who went into non-luxury companies. Particularly their jobs are related to brand management or communication or public relationing and all that. So it makes this program unique.
And so, Malvika, what about the other professors in the program? Do they come from the luxury or the fashion industry? What are their backgrounds?
Yeah, we have people who worked in the luxury industry and they are teaching us, which makes it so much of a better experience because you have so much of a real insight into what goes on behind the scenes or how it really functions. They're really able to give you that kind of insights. So the professors have a very important role to play in this. Of course, they can tell you what's already available in the study material and stuff like that. But in class, when they're talking to us, they tell us so much more, which makes it so much more interesting.
So, for example, where are they coming from? What kinds of companies? What kinds of brands?
We have like teachers who worked with, say, I think LVMH, MS. We also have professionals coming from the companies to talk to us. So it's not just the teachers; they invite professionals from these brands as well. We had someone come in from MS who spoke to us about the brand, the work culture, and you know what the criterias are if you want to apply, and just how the brand works in general. So I think we're always getting a lot of information, which is a lot out of the book. It's very hands-on.
Okay, let's take the next question here, Dildar.
Do you organize any study trips to fashion houses or companies in the luxury industry, a major champagne house maybe or hotel? In fact, yes, we take our students for the field visit. Malvika did it recently. Yeah. But I would say I find it more interesting to bring the experience to the school where the managers, where the professionals can exchange their experience, their thoughts, their opinions with the students. Because many of the students will be going into decision-making roles, not really in production, not really in factory visit would not make a lot of sense to me. Rather, I would bring a manager to the class where he or she can speak with the students for a few hours and share his or her experiences.
But it might make sense to go to a luxury boutique like the Louis Vuitton store.
Exactly, that's what we do, just to, I would say, give the students real-world experience. To connect theory with practice, and we take students to luxury retail outlets and sometimes tours to luxury houses.
So what kinds of trips have you been on? What kinds of visits have you?
We did a store visit where the class was divided into different groups, and we all went to different stores. It was like maybe say 5 or 6 groups in total. We did Nespresso, Swarovski, and Balthazar, which is the luxury hotel in Rennes. I personally went to Balthazar, and we were supposed to observe the working of the hotel and then make a brand presentation on it. So it was very interesting, and all the knowledge that you had, it was not something you studied and you had to just put into a presentation. It was a real experience where we interacted with the staff, we interacted with the managers, we understood the working of the company or like the brand, and we made presentations on it, which was one of our final projects. So I think that's really interesting. To the hotel or to your teachers? No, to our teachers. Okay. As part of our course, it was one of our final presentations, which is a good way to, which is I think a very good way to study, because you're not just learning stuff in the class. You are going out and you're doing other stuff like this. All right. Yes.
Yeah, and another group went to, for example, Hermes and other outlets in luxury. So in fact, it's again not very easy to take a large number of students to. Certainly. Yeah. So we divide them in small groups, like 5, 6, 7 students, and we take them to retail outlets or to luxury houses where they can observe, where they can talk with the management, with the people, with the employees, to exchange the ideas. Okay, let's take the next question here. Here, Dildar. Does this program teach online tools like Google AdWords and analytics? In fact, yes. In the second semester, they have a course. They have 2 courses basically. One is on e-commerce and the luxury industry, which teaches them the latest e-commerce tools, and particularly the differences between luxury and non-luxury industries. And another course is on communication. So how luxury brands can communicate in the digital environment, focusing on, I would say, social media and these Google marketing tools and all that. So do you offer certifications, or do you prepare them for the Google AdWords and Google Analytics certificates? There are no separate certificates for these, I would say, skills or these courses. They are integrated in the program. Okay. Yeah. But
does the curriculum fall? There are actually certificates for these tools. So do you prepare students to take these exams? Do you
if they want,
them?
they can take. If they want, they can take as a separate option, but they are not integrated in the program.
All right, very good. Well, it's time for our first break. It's time for 3 words max, taboo. Our guests have 3 words to describe their program, and they get 1 phrase to explain each word, except for this is taboo. So we here at Campus Channel have also chosen 3 words, and if they use any of those words, then we will sound the buzzer. So who's going to give me the first word?
So I'll ask Malvika to go.
To give the first word to describe the school. Well, I'd say international. Okay, that's a taboo word.
Yeah,
so
it's a taboo word. Yeah. Give me another word.
Okay, multicultural school.
That works.
With some of the best faculty and some of the best people you will meet, and I'm trying.
That's okay. Let's do word. Yeah, number 2.
So it's innovative.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would say professional environment, which makes no. Okay, so another word, because you're not accepting your professional word.
Correct.
Good. So I would say multicultural, innovative, and responsible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, can you explain number 1 why responsible?
Because in business environment, it's very important to achieve your goals in a responsible way. So you discharge your responsibilities towards the environment, towards the society, towards the people who are working with you. So that's an important part of the curriculum.
And explain why innovative?
Because to survive in a competitive world, you have to be innovative.
But that doesn't tell me why the school is innovative.
So school is innovative. School, in fact, teaches students to be innovative, and school in fact incorporates all the innovative technologies for learning and teaching, for online tools, for in fact delivering material to the students. So we also apply it to the school, and we also in fact prepare students to be innovative in the business environment. So it's both ways.
All right, well, let's move back to the questions here, and I will let Malvika read this for us, please.
Will I be required to validate French classes to graduate? To answer that question, yes, it is part of your curriculum. You have to pass your exam if you want to graduate. But the school really picks your level of French based on how much you know. If you don't know anything, they put you in like the beginner level or the A0 level, which is very basic. And it's not difficult at all, and it's really fun when you're learning it. So, I mean, you don't have to worry about it. You will definitely pass.
So I'm sure there are students who are already fluent in French, so what about them?
In fact, at the beginning of the program, students are given a test in French language, which will define their level of
even the French students, though?
No, it's not applicable to French native French-speaking students, for all international students.
Sure, so but what do Francophone students take?
English is not an option because all the courses are in English. They will have to take another language.
Yeah.
Okay, they can choose among several languages available at the school, for example, Italian, Spanish, German. So they will have to do another language. It works in the same way. They will be given a test at the beginning to evaluate their level, and they will be put in a class which corresponds to the level they already have.
All right, let's take the next question here, Malvika.
What does this final project entail? Is this a research paper?
So, Dildar, do you want to tell us about the final project?
The final project which Malvika was speaking, or
perhaps the graduating project?
Graduating. In fact, graduating project is the capstone of the program.
Okay.
It means the students will have to showcase all the skills, all the knowledge they have acquired during the program. And they will have to do a research based on the real world problem. Most of the time students in fact combine it with the internship, but it's not an internship report. So sometimes they work on a real world problem which they define with the company they are working on their internship, and sometimes these two things are independent. In fact, this is what in fact summarizes your whole knowledge which you have acquired during the MSc program.
So what is it that they have to produce?
They have to produce a report of around 15,000 words with the guidance from a supervisor from the school. Each student is allocated a supervisor. They just had their supervisors a few weeks ago, and they have already started thinking about the topic they are going to work on. And
how long does this project take normally?
This is around 1 semester work.
Okay.
And it normally starts after the second semester. So from May 2019, for example, they will be working on their thesis. But of course, they will define what they want to work on before. And then they will be doing internship and this final project simultaneously.
Can you give an example of previous topics that students have worked on?
For example, recently, one of my students was working on pop-up stores in luxury industry, and she has produced a very interesting report about how luxury brands use pop-up stores or temporary stores, and what are the opinions of the stakeholders, which may include, for example, managers of the companies or perception of the customers. So they take up a topic of their own interest with the guidance of their supervisor, and they apply it to the real world. All
right, very quickly, Malvika, any idea of what you might be researching or what you want to do?
Yes, I've already spoken to my supervisor, and I have a topic in place which is in line with what I want to do. It's related to social media, it's related to influencers and the luxury industry. So it's like a relationship between how influencers are growing in the luxury industry and how it's affecting the luxury industry. So that's what I've decided to go with.
All right, let's take the next question here. Dildar, will you read this, please?
The luxury and fashion industries are some of the biggest polluters and waste producers. How do you address this in the program? In fact, as I have already mentioned, we have a specific focus on responsible business. So achieving your goals in a responsible way. And I would say I would partly disagree with the statement that some of the luxury houses are the biggest polluters.
I would disagree with that
disagreement. That's good. I would say some of the biggest luxury brands have already started working to be more environmental friendly. Traditionally, some people see them
which they communicate about a lot. So is that just a show, or?
No, some of them have already started taking like really concrete measures, because again, it's a trade-off. Exclusivity is an important aspect of luxury. So it's not possible for them to sell their products at a discount or a promotion, or some of them really do not want to really give away the products for a lower price.
So how are you teaching students? How does this apply to what students are learning?
So some of the innovative strategies, for example, some companies have already started to recycle the products. If you discontinue a product, there is a possibility that you can recycle the product. So there are companies which are coming.
How is that included in the class? How is this integrated into the coursework? What students are learning about sustainability and responsible business?
They are taught a specific course on corporate social responsibility. Yeah. And the topics related to responsible business are discussed in almost all courses. For example, one of my students is going to work on the sustainability solutions for luxury companies in her final project, in her graduating project. So that's an important part. That's in fact an integral part of the program.
All right, next question, Malvika.
Could I specialize in a particular industry such as cosmetics and beauty? Yes, definitely. Like when we are doing luxury marketing, we do say fashion, perfumes, beauty, cosmetics, skincare. So we do them separately. We have separate sessions for each of these topics. Now I don't know how it's decided which ones you're going to get in your course. I guess that's decided by the administration, but we had cosmetics and beauty and skincare in each session. So, and also presentations. We have final presentations, like the store check was one of the presentations. We have other ones like that which count for towards our grade. and you can pick one industry that you want to create a presentation on. We did one on cosmetics actually, where we were supposed to develop our own cosmetic brand, a premium or a luxury brand, and how we would position it, why exactly it is luxury, what kind of model we'll follow, what kind of products we'll have. So yeah, it's really interesting if you want to specialize.
In fact,
yes.
The program structure is same for all the students. In fact, their graduating project or the final project probably will decide the specialization they want to take up. And in fact, that's what in fact this is a beginning point for your professional career as well.
All right, Dildar, take the next question for us, please.
I just finished my bachelor in biology and I would like to change paths. Do I have a chance to be accepted into this program? In fact, this program is open to all backgrounds. If you do not have a background in business administration, you are given a special, I would say, introductory session over a week or more to just make you familiarized with the basic concepts in business administration. Although most of the students come with business administration background, but not all of them. More than like 25% students are from backgrounds literature, languages, engineering, and some from sciences. So the program is open to all backgrounds.
So Malika, you were saying that you were already working in media a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you take this core course or this fundamentals courses?
No, I already had experience in business because I studied business management as my bachelor's, and then I was working in the media sector after that. So I didn't have to take a course on business.
This is what we call like prerequisite course.
Got it. All right. Well, it's time for another break. Where are we headed? We're not quite sure, but we're going to find out with Final Destination. Maybe a luxury destination? I don't know. We'll see. Malvika, if you will choose a slip of paper, please.
Okay. The worst moment of my life in school was... I think it was when I was much younger and I had like an elocution competition and I went like on stage and I had my topic ready and everything and all my teachers were counting on me and I just went up there and forgot. And I just stood there for some time with nothing to say. I think that's one
pretty
of the
embarrassing.
worst. Yeah.
But no bad moments at Rennes?
Oh, not really. I mean, it's been a very good experience so far.
No speech competitions?
No, but there have been like talent competitions where all these different cultures come together, or like different nationalities come together and they perform. Each nationality does one thing. So there have been some performances and I've been in the audience this time. Maybe that's why.
All right, very good. Well done. Let's get back to the questions here. Dildar, if you'll read this for me, please.
Does this program include hands-on consulting projects with real-world execution? In fact, yes. Sometimes you work on consultancy project, and particularly, as I have already mentioned, the final project most of the times is in connection with the, not always, but most of the times is in connection with the company you are interning at. You have projects in class which are directly related to the real world. We work on case studies sometimes, and sometimes real world business problems. So again, we try to create a balance between theory and practice, and probably Malvika can share her experience about how she finds the balance between theory and practice.
Yeah, I think it is a very good balance, because when we have case studies also, like a typical case study, it ends with a few questions, and in class we're supposed to work on solutions to these problems, and they are very recent problems. They're related to digital marketing integration into like luxury brands, the positioning of these luxury brands. We also talk about, like I said, hotels and cars, how a car should position itself. So we are doing like a 360 of the luxury industry, and I think it's quite hands-on. So
Dildar, you mentioned actual real-world consulting cases. Can you give some examples of cases where students have worked on a problem that's been brought to them by a company and they've implemented or executed their recommendations?
For example, one of my students was working on our final project on the brand awareness problem the company was having, and she came up with a very interesting report, and some of the suggestions were presented to the company, and I'm confident that the company will benefit from the suggestions she had made to them. So
I mean, can you tell me what this was? That's very vague.
Yeah.
You haven't told me anything about what they've done or the company or anything.
So probably I would say I would not name the company because it's a specific problem related to them. Okay. But for example, the company tried to increase its brand awareness and they were not able to do that. And they shared this problem with the student and she worked on that with, I would say, comparative case analysis, and she did the analysis. She asked, she did customer survey and presented the findings to the company with suggestions about how to increase, and particularly in the modern day marketing with using all the online tools and social media marketing. And the weakness is because she was working within the company, so all the strategies and all that, she had access to the information of the marketing tools and decisions they were making. And I think it's going to make a bit of difference for the company.
All right, let's take the next question. Malvika?
Is there time in this program to have a part-time job in order to pay for my living expenses? I mean, it is an extensive course and it's not recommended that you take a part-time job because you have so many assignments. You're not doing, like in class, obviously you're learning and studying and you're having these discussions and you're working on cases. But even when you go home, you have so many assignments due that it's a little difficult to get a part-time job in order to pay for your expenses. But it's possible. It's not like impossible. If you can manage your time really well, then usually school ends at 6 p.m. On most days. So you could find something like babysitting or teaching, but well, it depends.
All right, let's take the next question. It looks like Malvika could answer this.
What is Rennes like for student life? Is it interesting for nightlife? Are people friendly to foreigners? So this is a very interesting question. I think Rennes is amazing for student life because it's like a student town. There are so many students and so many people from like different countries living in Rennes. So the population is mostly youth. And Thursdays are like the student nights for like nightlife. There are a few clubs, a few parties that you can go to. Even the school organizes parties where you meet people from different master's programs. So you're actually interacting with everyone in the school. And I think, yeah, that's more or less it. It's quite happening.
All right.
And in general, Brittany is, I would say, the most friendly part of the France towards the foreigners.
I think the locals will be very happy to hear that.
Yeah, and you can travel to places, like even if you've been to all the places, you've been to the center, you walked the town like a few times, you can travel to different places in Brittany and close by towns, which is also really fun to do on the weekends.
All right, very good. Let's take the next question here. Dildar.
So what kinds of internship opportunities do students find in the luxury industry? Are there partnerships to help place students? The students take up internship opportunities in, for example, several roles, for example, in sales, in marketing, in distribution, in branding, in product development. We have partnerships with some of the biggest brands, for example, with Hermes, with Chanel, with other international brands, not all in luxury, some in premium, which are like equally important for this course. And some of our partners come to school to recruit students every year. Like Chanel, they regularly come to the school for recruiting students every year. So I would say the students go into a variety of roles and a variety of brands, international and French.
Malvika, do you have your internship picked out already? Do you have a placement?
No, not yet, but I'm still looking for internships. And actually, in your first semester, it's really difficult to apply for an internship for April because that's when we want to intern. That's our internship period. And right now, all the companies are recruiting for the January to March or April period. So right now, it's a little harder to find, but I think in January, once these openings have been filled, it will be easier for me to find something.
Have you had a look at what opportunities are out there anyway?
Yes, and we also had like an international fair in the school where we had like different companies come down, not necessarily luxury brands, different companies who had come down to recruit students. And also the school has its own integrated websites like Hire, Job Teaser, Career Services, which help you find a job. And you can always go to them if you want to work on your CV, you want to work on your motivation letter, they give you guidance on it.
All right, next question, Dildar.
So how international is this program? Students and faculty. Probably the most internationalized program in France.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
Yeah, because
it's a false claim.
We have more than 15 nationalities in the program, and more than 70% of the students are foreign students, non-French students. When it comes to faculty, the international, I would say, ratio is even higher. For example, we have more than 90% faculty which comes from other countries. So it's in fact a truly international program, and that's, I would say, is the most exciting part of the program.
All right, we have time for one more question here. Dildar, if you'll read this, please.
There are plenty of business schools with luxury management master programs. So what sets Rennes School of Business apart from the others? I would say the uniqueness of the program is its, I would say, internationality.
But that's not
Again,
unique.
That's
really
that's
not unique.
one of the points. The second point, which I would say is the main strength, it does not focus on only one business sector. It's not only like luxury in fashion industry or luxury in cosmetics. It covers a broad range of luxury sectors in all business segments. Let it be cars, let it be hotels, let it be any other sector, because there is a segment which is luxury in all business sectors. And a third strong point is, in fact, that it also has a focus on brand management, which is applicable to all types of companies, luxury brands, premium brands, and I would say the brands which are non-luxury and non-premium. So these are a few strong points of the program.
All right, we actually have time for one more question here, Dildar.
Where have Rennes School of Business alumni found jobs after this program, and what's the average starting salary? In fact, we have students working for almost all international and French brands in luxury and premium segment. For example, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, Apple, Mercedes. These are
Apple's American.
Apple is American. I'm saying like French and non-French brands.
Okay.
And Apple, probably I would not consider Apple a luxury brand, but a premium brand. So we have students working with all, I would say, almost all big luxury and premium brands. The average salary of starting salary for graduates in France is around 40,000 euros, and abroad it's a bit higher, but I would say it's very competitive in the market, so they get really a very good starting point.
All right, well, we are almost out of time, and we want to finish with something nice, so we're going to end with the sweetest. All right, so Malvika, I would like to know, what was your favorite question from the interview and why?
I think my favorite question was about just Rennes as a place to study, the nightlife, the student life. I think it's really important. It's something that you have to consider when you're moving so far away, the kind of life that you're going to live in this city. So I think it's a very important question. It's something everyone should consider before moving, wherever they want to go.
All right, very good. And you, Dildar?
For me, the most, I would say, interesting question was about digitalization, or in the modern day marketing, how the luxury companies, because I found that this question was really relevant, and I think it's important as well, because marketplace is changing, the behavior of the people is changing, how we interact with others is changing, so is the business environment. So we try to prepare our students to not only tackle all these changes and challenges well, but to prepare them to work in a dynamic business environment. So that's what, in fact, makes this program exciting and unique as well.
All right, very good. Well, thank you both very much for being here and telling us more about your program. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time right here on Campus Channel.